morning, everyone. Chill Girl Chrissy here, Alderman in Ward 6. We're here to fuel your mind, body, and soul with goodness. Open up, share, be real, be raw, overcome, let go, and simply live a joyous, chill life. Welcome to the Chill and Heal Show. I have my AKA Ward 6 Mayor, Daniel Mowery, as my co-host, and the brilliant, awesome, one of my best friends, Pickleman. You know, I just I feel a little emotional. It's been a journey. There's been we've all gone through a lot, and today we're gonna continue on with our show about speaking, the impacts of speaking up, and the importance of getting involved. And we've got to look behind the curtains, and we've got to get involved, and we can't just rely on what the media tells us, and we can't rely. I'm so sorry, you guys. And we can't rely on just any. We have to rely on ourselves with God.
Yes.
Bottom line is, when we get that funny feeling in our stomach that something's not right, we have to listen to it. And I think that there's, think about this. 2020,
Ugh.
where we were back then to now, and how it changed our lives. I was turning 50. I turned 50 in January of 2020. I was like, this is going to be my next best 50. I was like super excited. I'm like, all right, I've had enough lessons. Not that we're ever going to stop learning.
Yeah,
but I was like thinking like, all right, I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. I went and did this amazing journey dance, teacher training in Miami. And, just trying to get out of, people don't realize that I'm actually shy. And I have not been a public speaker. I know. I am bold in my heart.
Yep.
And so, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where, I can feel comfortable in my surroundings when I'm around people. But I'm not one of those like want center of attention. I don't want to be on stage. Like when I would be on stage, it was like sweating. It's just too much.
This way I was when I was on the first show with Victoria Sullivan
Yes.
and Brittany Ping. I was like, it's like scary. Then when you asked me to do this show, it's like, believe it or not, I'm a shy person too.
I remember you were really nervous, and I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna have a conversation, because this is what we need to do. Is we need to have conversations, open, honest conversations, and this way we all share our experiences, we connect more, and we learn more.
Yeah.
And people, we're not alone. There's a lot of us feeling this way, with not being thrilled with what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But we're happy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, all right, you know what? We should stand up and fight against the insane tax increases. How is government spending our money? And I guess my point is, so from January 2020 to here I am, I'm an elected official, voted in 3 times on a special election. And I was like, God, if this is what you want me to do, show me the way and send me the people that I'm supposed to work with. And a whole group of people came around me to help me get elected, and it was, for me, it was God driven.
It was. I mean, because it was a tough battle.
Yes, it was, and I get people believed in me that I was gonna stand on truth and I wouldn't back down and make common sense decisions for Manchester. And when you say you're going to do something, you got to do it. You got to keep your word. It's really, really important.
Oh yeah, you
know?
got to. And the thing is we have so many politicians in our city that keep on saying, I'm not going to override the tax cap. I'm not going to override the tax cap. And guess what?
And there they go, overriding the tax cap.
Not overriding. They friggin'
they blew it. Yeah, exactly.
They jumped a 60-foot hurdle, whatever. Come on, But we have politicians who tell seniors how to lower their taxes by not cleaning up your yard, not making your house.
Oh my gosh! And the thing is, there's already a tax exemption. I don't know exactly, but you can go on the website. I guess my thing is, why should you, as a senior citizen, have to open up your checkbook and share, all your finances to the government? I
Right.
think that's absolutely.
No, I know.
No. You've worked and earned your money, and you should be able to keep your home, and you shouldn't have to rent the space
Right, you shouldn't
from the city. I mean, these taxes are out of control, and how we spend our money. And I guess my thing is when they were saying, well, if you don't override the tax cap, you don't support the police. And I'm like, that's not true, because there's other areas we could have cut back, okay? A lot of areas we can cut back, if you pull back the curtains and
Yep.
you're truly honest and transparent, to be able to support the police the correct way.
Right.
So I do wanted to share, I have a couple clips from our last board meeting.
Okay.
So I can't remember exactly which ones they were, because this is kind of like part 2 of the impacts of speaking up.
Oh,
But
yes.
Brendan, if you could share, we have 3, and then we'll talk about it.
Are we still not checking IDs?
So that if.
Oh,
I-
can we
there
turn
has
it
been
up a
no
little bit
change to
louder?
the standard operating procedure from the last time that Jake was here. Many
Okay, so we're
individuals,
still
as-
not checking IDs, so they could be illegal immigrants.
As we've talked about in the past, there are certain things that we can check, there are certain things that we can't check. When there are federal strings attached, when they're coming through the CDBG dollars, there are certain things that we can do and certain things that we can't do. As we've talked about in previous meetings, I've had multiple conversations with Solicitor Rice on this. If there is are certain any kind of restrictions that you are looking for, if there are any kind of additions that you would like to make on the rules that are there, I'm more than happy to work with the solicitor to find a way to.
So I keep bringing it up. We went from 39 Beach Street to 200 Elm Street, and you can't check IDs. So you don't really know who's there. So if you don't really know who's there, how do you really track people? And
know.
where are these people coming from? And I keep saying we need to take care of our own. We need to take care of Manchester citizens foremost. Not everyone else, first. Because guess what? And I have a lot of compassion, but how are we supposed to, illegal immigrants?
We don't know who's in our city.
Yeah, we don't know who's in our city.
And our police department won't even go after them. They won't even work with ICE. Am I correct on that one?
So I heard they work with ICE.
Oh, they do? Okay.
I'd rather have maybe a conversation on another time when I have more facts about that. They are just not deputized. So I hear that they work with them, but they're not deputized. So what does that exactly mean? I'm not exactly sure, but there are a lot of illegal immigrants that go through our judicial system.
Wow.
So what's happening there? I think it's just, as I've stated before, it's kind of like the flight attendant saying, hey, put your oxygen on first, and then you help your child or your
Loved
one first. You've got to take care of yourself first and then help others. And that is what we have to do. We have to take care of Manchester citizens foremost. So speaking up and asking questions is so essential. If we can go into the next segment.
Additional new business. Oh goodness. Alderman Cantor, and then we'll go right down the line.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I just want to say congratulations to all the homesteaders. You're allowed to be entrepreneurs in Manchester. And I was just wondering, how are we going to move forward with that? With aligning with all the other great towns that are already allowed to can their pickles and bake their breads and share because they care.
Yeah, so I know conversations have been happening with the Health Department and the Solicitor's Office to understand the impact of the state law, and I'm sure information will be forthcoming, as I think that law was just signed effective
Yes.
last week, so.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
I'm sure
exciting.
more information will be forthcoming. We're subject to the state, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. One more thing, a big shout out to DPW, Caleb, and his team for working with the state to fix the problem up on Hanover Street. The light that has been so unsafe getting onto 93 the collaboration of him and the state, and we have a resolution, and we'll be safer up in Ward 6, getting onto the highway and cruising down Hanover Street. So thank you very much.
So I think it's important that we give good feedback when good things happen
Oh,
in
you
the city.
have to.
You know?
'Cause we get so much backlash. The poor police get so much backlash
Yeah.
and things like that. But did I miss it? Did the mayor say he was happy for the homestead law come through or not? Did
I
he?
don't know exactly what he said. He said that, because I said, how is the ordinances going to align with the state law? You know, obviously, we have to
Yeah,
clean those
so
ordinances up.
Yeah, so he wasn't.
he said-
he wasn't happy. He didn't say he wasn't happy. He didn't say he wasn't happy.
I have to go back and review that.
I looked at it and I couldn't hear him say he was happy. You know, I would think he would
that-
say, "Good job, Dan."
I was super excited.
Oh, I know you were. I know.
We need to pickle on.
And we're going to have a
Cheers.
farmers market in Holt Ave in
Oh.
August.
August. I love it. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Oh,
All right,
we-
so stay tuned to find out then.
Yeah, we'll keep you
how you
updated.
guys are, how we are doing this. Of
Yes.
course, I'll be helping you however we can.
Yes.
And I think we have one more segment. I don't know what's,
Alderman Trisciani by Alderman Kawu. Discussion? Alderman Cantor and then Alderman Dexter.
Okay. I guess, I wasn't here last night, but I did watch the meeting. I apologize for not being there. I do have concerns, on this as a small business owner and having to have the employees and bringing out the tables and everything. I guess my concern is if there are events that are planned, what you're saying is, if he has plans to use that with his customers on a regular basis, since he got approval, but if someone gets a permit through the city, they can override it, so then Stark can't use it outside? Is that what that's saying?
That was the agreement that was reached last night on the committee.
Okay, well, I guess concerned about special events, and I'll talk about a specific event. I have 3 free concerts that we do down at Stark Brewery. So I am concerned about if people have planned parties and so forth, that if someone comes in and recommends, wants to do another event, concerned about what's happening over at Stark Brewery. So basically, he's rented the space. I understand there was an issue, but how do you really manage what's really fair if you don't know who's renting the space?
Alderman Kawu, do you want to speak?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
Yeah.
June?
Alderman Trisciani, if you want to
Yeah, I mean, the clerk can back us up, but if there's other events down there, there's nothing stopping you from pulling a permit to use that space through the city.
Yeah, so also what I wanted to chime in on was there's nothing in these amendments that would prohibit the event organizer who might have a permit for so when somebody submits, for example, the recent Bacon and Beer Festival that happened in that parking lot, when they submit for the permit, they receive that permit for the entirety of the lot. This created a conflict, an unexpected conflict, where there was overlapping approvals taking place. So this amendment helps address those overlapping approvals where the main event, like if the entirety of the parking lot is approved through the city for a permit, then the specific restaurant usage of the space, which is kind of an ad hoc thing throughout the summer, that would not be allowed to happen at the same time. However, there's nothing prohibiting the restaurant from coordinating with the event organizer. For example, the concerts, if they wanted food to be served, or if they wanted to offer that space to the restaurant, I don't believe there would be anything in here that prevents that coordination from happening. It just kind of clarifies who has first priority during that main event for that portion of the parking lot.
So with the other restaurants and so forth that have their sidewalks, are they allowed to continue? Or when you do special events?
So this was
Alderman
something,
Trisciani.
as you might recall, that was done, the concept of leasing out parking spots for use by restaurants was done during COVID. with COVID funding the goal of this was to assist the restaurants that were having restrictions on the amount of people they could seat inside of their restaurant to bring them outside so that they could get more business. At the price of $1,260, the restaurants could get 3 parking spots. We are leasing out at the same amount, city lawn and, or I should say we are allowing the use of 22 parking spots and the city lawn for this use. So given the way it has worked out and the conflicts that have arisen, the safest way to be most fair with everybody is they're not allowed to sublease their space out, and if something is permitted in the park, that property is part of the park property, and the city has the right to lease it out. And at that point in time, the restaurant business would be ceased for that evening. We do not have restaurants on Elm Street, and I would say that if a restaurant on Elm Street decided to sublease their seats out or do something else with their sidewalk dining, we would have an issue with that as well.
But it's city property on the
Which
sidewalk.
is exactly why we're doing it this way. The park lot, the lot that Mr. Telge is using is city property.
Yeah, and I guess my thing is, so if we're just gonna have a band down there, I'm gonna have to pull a permit to have an event? Because so the organization I work with is gonna have a free concert for everyone? So then there's more red tape all involved. I got it, just.
Again, back to COVID restrictions, it sounds
And
like you
the
may even
biggest
have
scam of our lives,
You may also
actually.
have a conflict in voting on this issue since you do have business down there, but if you want to guarantee that spot and you want to host an event, I would recommend you go through the permitting process through the city.
Do you have a
Alderman
personal
Dexter, do you have,
vendetta against him?
Alderman Dexter, you
Clearly.
had
I do not.
a comment, question?
She is
You
trying
see
to
it.
run for mayor. If she runs for mayor, our city,
Oh my God. Well,
anyways, enough about that.
this is crazy, right?
This is just,
So we've been doing free concerts
for how long?
since August of 2020. We've been doing free concerts down by the river with Peter Telge, right outside underneath the bridge, and we've been. It's been a beautiful thing, you know. When we couldn't stay connected, we were like, all right, how can we find a way of connecting? So we brought the music. We had actually the Jimmy LaHoo band brought it, and everyone. We just had a great time outside, and that was August of 2020. And no one died. The music brought us together, the good food, the good cheer. It was just really, really essential. And so I'm actually working with Dana, Ward 3 Alderman right now, on the permitting process. And because they are basically saying, you know, you have to pull a permit now. Well, the permitting process is really something else.
Like, I don't know about permits?
Yeah.
Block parties? Oh,
And-
for the love of God.
And we think about all the permits, all the people that have been run out of the city because of the permitting process, the cost. We stopped doing the Stash Dash. We had this incredible Stash Dash for prostate cancer. It was a road race for prostate cancer. There's so many people that I get to still meet, and they're like, oh my gosh, we did the Stash Dash. We would love you to bring it back. And I'm like, it costs too much money. You know, there's so many moving parts, you know, the so-called safety.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still going to have a problem with the safety. No, we had a beautiful route that started at Stark Brewery and went up into the north end of Manchester and back. We had to only hire a couple officers. It was great. And then all of a sudden, the city said, oh, it's unsafe. And I'm like, how is it unsafe? There's been no issues. And they squashed so many of the small organizations, and to do only one route on Canal and Commercial Street. So we did it for a couple years, and it cost us so much money. We couldn't even make the race affordable to the people that were, you know,
Nope.
enjoying it. And let me tell you, people came out, and I wore a tutu. It was like so many people wearing tutus, fun, crazy socks, fun mustaches. It really brought the awareness to prostate cancer, which affects so many men. And it
Yes, it
affects so many
does.
families. And men don't like to talk about their health. And it was a great way to get people talking about it. And I have a friend from high school that came up to me a few years afterwards. Oh, it just makes me emotional because these are the things that our government is crushing us to do. Is we're a simple nonprofit, and there's so many different simple nonprofits that are actually don't take a paycheck, and they are doing great community events.
Yeah.
And with that, it was a lot. It was a lot for me to speak in front of a lot of people, even though I was passionate because my dad was here when we did it, and it was just the best. It was the best. It brought so many people together. But I had to speak in front of so many people, and that was terrifying to me. But I care. And that is, we find the courage and we ask God for some courage to be able to do things that are uncomfortable for us. And several years later, a friend came up to me and he's like, you know what? Because of you and what you guys have brought to my attention, I got checked, and young guy, and he had prostate cancer.
Yep.
So it's like you don't realize the people that you're going to touch their lives, and and our children. We want to be there for our children. We want to be there for our loved ones. So I really think it's just so important to speak up and show up. And the fact that they want to push all this horrendous permitting is ridiculous.
Yes.
And, it's the same thing with the parades. And I'll call out the, MPD and the fire department for saying it's unsafe, and that we have to shorten our parade routes. What's unsafe is losing our freedom. Our freedom. Our freedom to gather, our freedom of speech. And I'm grateful to Manchester Public Access. You give us a platform to speak up. And I am a back the blue girl. I am all for the firefighters. I am just not for all this government overreach and so-called safety.
Yeah.
Safety, health department didn't want a man to pickle his pickles. I mean, pickle his cucumbers. I mean, really? And you're going to go after some, but not others? Well, this is victory for all homesteaders. This is victory for medical freedom. This is victory for true good health.
Yes.
And we need to speak up, show up, respectfully call out our elected officials and how we are running our government. It is so essential.
And you know what?
Sorry, I'm just a
I
little
know.
emotional.
And you're making me. The thing is, speak up, stand up, and things like that. And right now, after what the city of Manchester did, okay, by not having a 250th birthday anniversary for the United States of America, but they were allowed to have a pride parade.
Well, I'm all for fairness, and
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
all,
fair for fairness, but
I guess my thing is the Pride Parade had the same route as the other parades. There was a typo. I think what you're referring to is, they said that the Pride Parade started at Webster Street, but
Yeah.
it actually started at Bridge Street.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's not. Why didn't we have a 250th parade for our birthday?
Well, I will say our good friend Deb Rue kept showing up to City Hall, showing up and asking, what are we doing for our 250th? What are we doing for our 250th birthday? This is the biggest city in the state. What are we doing? Finally, they tried to gather some things, and they let her have a little booth to share about the Founding Fathers Monument. So she was able to do that, and they had Catherine 10 share the Declaration of Independence beautifully. But other than that, there was nothing spectacular about our 250th. It was, the fireworks were great, the whole 14 minutes, and I don't want to rain on the parade, but this is important. It's like we need to call out, what are we doing? What is our priority? We need to speak up.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of stuff for the revolution or for the 200 a lot of stuff was made here in Manchester. You know, a lot of things was, if it wasn't for Manchester, New Hampshire, there's some of these battles we couldn't have won if it wasn't for Manchester, New Hampshire. But our city decided, no,
It really wasn't that important.
no,
And you can go back and watch the BMAs, and this is a woman, Deb Rue is a woman, she does not give up.
No, she does
And
not.
she always speaks from the heart, and really just wants us to follow the Constitution and love our country.
right?
And so I'm grateful she was there. She has a special event August 1st. I was hoping I was going to be there, but maybe you can go and represent Chill and Heal Show.
And Community Connection.
Yes, in Community Connection. I can give you my microphone.
Oh, I have two.
That would
then
be
two mics.
amazing, because she is doing this. It's a rededication, and Kirk Cameron will be there, and it'll be a beautiful day down in Plymouth, August 1st. So a shout out to Deb Rue, a courageous Ward 12 lovely woman that I am grateful to call my friend. And I just continue to speak up, continue to show up, and thank you for all of our God-given rights.
That's true. God bless America.
God bless America.
God
Let's
bless
chill
you.
and heal our nation, our city, with the truth, 100% with kindness, respecting everyone. Until next time, stay chill and love one another.
God bless.
God bless.